His family's grieved. These shootings have reignited a fight over guns, and at least one Colorado sheriff says he is willing to go to jail in a stand for gun rights. Good evening. I'm Dominic Garcia.
And I'm Kathy Walsh. His comments come after President Trump called for a national red flag gun law. The president was reacting to the two mass shootings over the weekend.
We must make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, those firearms can be taken through rapid due process. That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders.
The red flag law in Colorado takes guns away from people deemed at risk to society. That's by a judge. Our Dylan Thomas live tonight in Weld County. And Dylan, Colorado's law goes into effect on January 1st.
And Kathy, there is still a lot of opposition to this law here in Colorado. More than half of the sheriffs in the state have vocalized their opposition to this bill, and that includes Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams. He tells us he believes it's simply unconstitutional. In his office, nestled in the middle of the cornfields, Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams is standing firm on his opposition to Colorado's red flag bill. The bill allows roommates, family, or law enforcement to petition a gun owner as a threat to themselves or the community. If a judge agrees, their guns would be confiscated.
I just put my officers at an increased risk of danger.
Monday, Reams listened as President Trump, whom he voted for, vocalized support of a national red flag bill.
But I don't think Colorado's version of a red flag bill is what even our president would be looking at.
Colorado's red flag law is named after Douglas County Sheriff Deputy Zachary Parrish, who died from a gunman with a history of mental illness.
And it could have been averted if we had the ability that this law will give law enforcement to intervene on those extreme cases.
I think we can all universally agree that someone who is mentally insufficient or mentally deficient shouldn't have access to firearms.
Sheriff Reams took to Facebook Monday saying he hoped police, medical professionals, lawmakers, and more could come together to find a middle ground, one which could make a national red flag bill acceptable to all involved.
Where all of those people are at the same table trying to find a real solution, then these people wouldn't have died in vain.
Colorado's organization, Rocky Mountain Gun Owners, tells me that they were really thrown off by President Trump's comments today. They have already sued the state legislature here in Colorado for the way they believe they pushed that bill through the state law here in Colorado. They tell me President Trump, quote, is the worst Republican president for gun rights we've had in the White House. For more on their interview, you can head to cbsdenver.com. We're live in Weld County. Dylan Thomas covering Colorado First.